Hi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy morning to join me. I really do appreciate it. I keep on almost breaking character there just because I've been awake for a while now, and then I got bored waiting for DoorDash orders that don't exist in a town that populates less than probably an eighth of a big city block. You feel me? The pool of customers is very small in a small place, and so I did that, and then came back home, and I fell asleep just because I guess that's how I sleep, I'll try to do as many things as I can, and then I save sleep for when there's nothing else to do, and then I do that because that's when I have the time to do it. But let's talk right now about the complexities of how a single day can change the course of how your week is going to be. All right, let's call it Mondays. Let's call it Mondays. Let's do the boomers a favor and let's acknowledge their colloquial term, and let's all have a case of the Mondays. Jesus. So seriously, today's Monday, and I woke up and it's gonna be an interesting week. I already know it was a very event-filled weekend. Saturday was actually a pretty peaceful day for me. That was a nice day. Saturday was pretty cool. That was a fun day. But Friday and Sunday, were real fun, and interesting. Today I have to work, and then I have to, I guess, I'm picking up someone for work, but I'm not quite sure, honestly. So that's what I'm saying. This week is going to be interesting and going to be very fun to see what happens. At least that's what my perspective is, Mondays always kind of do this to people, right? Now let's talk about your struggles in life, okay? Like how it's Monday and you only make, $12 an hour and you're supposed to be grateful for that or whatever, and you work your ass off, and again, the reflection of where this joke, ends is that fascists suck, and it's hard to wake up on any day, especially, it doesn't on a Monday, right? Just a friendly reminder that you owe someone else 40 hours of your time, and if you don't give it to them, then you run the risk of literally destroying your life, and that's not cool. Again, we can thank fascism and fascist policies for making us even, worry about stupid things like that. Okay, so we get it. I get it. And on the same side, right? A lot of people, including myself, turn that into a positive spin. It's sort of like I get to go work 40 hours for the man. I have purpose. That this is a good thing. It's better for me to do this than it is for me to try to find something else to do on my own. I need this sort of organization, and that's okay. I mean, you're not the dude trying to vlog in his room while the landscapers are downstairs blowing leaves around, are you? I mean, this is what I deal with, okay? I started shooting videos. It doesn't matter where I am, but I've learned a long time ago that you gotta keep talking. And while a big part of me is super frustrated that I can't talk about case of the Mondays with my audience free from leaf blowing machines, it's just the way that it is. And so Mondays, you wake up, you sign up for the 40 hours, and you also sign up for no more than that, right? It's sort of like you're encouraged to do more with less, because you can't do more with an appropriate amount of stuff to do more with, so there you go, right? It's sort of like Mr. Man is real happy to have you for 40 hours, but then the second the clock turns over 40 hours, it's that same person telling you to kick rocks. You feel me? And it's sort of like, well, damn, I made it this far, I'm trying to work can I work another 5 hours, actually make some decent money or whatever? And right away that idea is often shut down, you know? So shout out to all the capitalists who continue to brainwash everyone into thinking that the harder and the more that they work, the better that their life will be. Just because it's already capped, my dude. Like, the only people that get overtime are people that already have badass jobs, okay? So that's cool for them, you know? Nurses, a bunch of other industry officials. I think that's great, you know? On the same side of things, I think it sucks that a lot of these Mr. Man companies make their managers work on salary, and you know, those people have the opposite problem. You know, a lot of them work 40 hours in 3 days, like seriously, and then give Mr. Man and or the company and or Uncle Sam, you know, an additional 30 hours in free labor. I mean, what? You know, so there's, it's like the opposite, right? It's sort of like the people that need the overtime aren't able to get it, the people that don't need it get it, and the people that don't want or shouldn't be working more than 40 hours for anything less than 40 hours of pay are in fact doing that. You feel me? So like, I mean, oh no, it's a pretty good time in this country and in this world to be a fascist and to, you know, own a corporation and to exploit people. I mean, now's the time. So like, yeah, we are seeing that. Mondays. Mondays are often days where they have specials at restaurants, so that's pretty cool. You know, you guys should check out your local cuisine, see what they're offering on up. I always talk about Taco Tuesdays. I have no idea what's on sale on Mondays. It's like the one day that I don't even think about like what's on sale. So now that I've thought about it, I'm sure going to do some more thinking and I'll report back to you guys. So when you get older, you find out about deals, okay? I don't care. You could have all the money in the world, but you get older and all of a sudden you're that dude on Thursday nights sitting at BJ's waiting for that $8 prime rib. You know, it's sort of like that's the way the world is. And it's just nice, you know, in a world that's super expensive. I'd argue that it's not even being frugal or being cheap or no type of way. I just think that especially if you're older, you know, you kind of grew up with the idea that you'd have a little bit of extra cash to spend and that it would be okay for you to spend said cash and that, you know, it wouldn't impact whether or not like you're going to be out on the streets, you feel me? And so, Mondays, what else can we say about Mondays? Not really sure. I just know that, again, this Monday, right now, today, it should be very fun for me. I got to get up out of here and dress myself. And imagine being so ballin', you know, you don't even dress yourself, you feel me? I've never really thought of it like that. I'm always on some like Jetson stuff, you know? I want one of those little rooms that the Jetsons family had, you know, and you could just like walk into it and it just like showed you what you would look like in different outfits, and then it just like put you in that outfit, the hair and everything, you feel me? What a wonderful contraption. I hope that somewhere in the universe said contraption exists, because those people are living great lives. Anyways, Mondays. Mondays are also just, I think, one of those days where like, because we've all agreed on this arbitrary day of, you know, the beginning of a work week that none of us want to go to because work sucks. And again, I'm not here to like complain about all that stuff, right? I mean, that's what I'm doing, but like, hear me out. You know, it's not that people, you know, don't want to work, in my opinion, or that we should not be able to work. It's just we're forced to work, you know, and there's a big difference in being forced to do something and just doing something because, you know, it brings you a positive experience and makes you grow as a person. I mean, you wonder why half the world's grumpy. How much of an experience and how good of a time are you going to have doing customer service at Panera, you know? Like, seriously, right? And that's just the truth. You're not going to get the same kind of fulfillment, right? And it's just that important to keep some of those things in mind. I think, especially culturally speaking, again, just the idea that we've arbitrarily decided that Monday is that one day. You know, we've already made the deal with the devil, you feel me? And we signed up for that good old greenback, and we've convinced ourselves that the more that we work, you know, and the better that we are at our job, the more greenbacks we're going to get. And somehow that's going to make us happier, right? It's always something else that's going to make us happier. And I feel like Mondays are a stark reminder of that on some like low tier comedic quality kind of dark humor. Mondays provide us with that sort of observation, you know, and I get it. I feel it. Mondays suck, you know. I don't know why. We continue to sort of worship this idea that is false, right? Very capitalistic, very Western, you know, modern, but it's got to be a better way, you know? And obviously, your boy's leaning socialist here because I'm a socialist and I love talking about socialism and how it is so much better in every single way than the kind of world that we live in. You know what I mean? Because the kind of world that we live in doesn't work for everybody. It only works for a small number of people. And the small number of people that it works for, it's doing great things. You know, it's providing them generational wealth. It's providing them opportunities that are meaningful, opportunities that are impactful, opportunities that do, in fact, grow a person and provide them with the experiences they need in life to ideally make them their best selves. But you know, when it's so skewed like this, you can't help all these people for enjoying all these different things and then, you know, going crazy or just being an asshole because they're unable to share those things with other people, right? Can you imagine being so like cool and shit, you feel me, that like you can't even like share your normal experiences on the everyday with normal people because of how just in a different world you are? You know what I mean? And that's the case for most of the influencers that we watch. That's the case for a lot of those people. I mean, exceptions are made. Jimmy Donaldson, you know, is probably the only billionaire on the surface of this planet that is genuinely liked, you know? I mean, and that's not an easy thing to do, you feel me? But I mean, clearly in order to do it, you need to basically work every hour of every day while also paying everybody that you've ever met. And I mean, I think that would be stressful, even if I had $1 billion in the bank. You know, it's just because that's your job, you know? And again, we just talked about how most of us, just even on the most basic level, don't like our jobs, or we don't want to work all the time. Maybe that doesn't mean we don't like our job, but it means we don't want to work all the time. But yet we expect those people that we watch and that we, you know, are our role models to be like completely different. You feel me? When we do expect those things, we find out that it's not at all like that. And these guys and girls are just normal people. You know what I mean? And it's an exceptional individual that rises above all those things. And again, so shout out to people like Jimmy and all those other rich young influencers who try to make a meaningful impact with the wealth that they've obtained. And you know, I think that's a real rare example of what we're currently seeing, just because, you know, have you guys ever met a content creator older than Mr. Beast that had more money before him, that did what he is doing now and is more successful at it? Like, seriously, you know, this dude came from his mama's crib, you feel me? And while he had a little bit of resources and stuff, like that man just decided one day that his life was YouTube. And you know, 15 years later, his life is YouTube. And I mean, it's just, that's a lot of grinding, my friends. That much work is you know, it might be nice again to think to yourself that you got all that money and, you know, all the cool stuff or whatever, but my guy, it takes a real strong individual to bring themselves up every day out of the bed and still continue to try and do things regardless of, you know, all the crazy stuff that I'm sure happens to them on the daily. Hey guys, my name is Albert and I just broke character, but I did this earlier. I sent a video to somebody. I'm in character mode today. You know, I gotta go to work. There's the work character. I gotta be out in the world. There's the world character. You know, hopefully I get to spend some time with Bree today, but we'll see, because that is so, I don't know. And then my other ex, who like I would love to see, just you know, we all got our own problems, man. And so I hope that you guys have a really good day. I'll make another video shortly. I'm trying to make a video like after everything I do, you know, and it may or may not be about what I just did, but it's definitely gonna be made. Just now, I almost felt like not making this video. these videos are not super easy to make, you know? Like, it looks like they're easy to make, and it doesn't take a lot of skill. That's not where the laborious, you know, tedious tasks come from. It's just doing it, you know, and it's a lot. And so working on that this morning, going on 15 minutes or a little bit more than 15 minutes. The other day I was watching a video, I looked up at the camera and I was like, yo, we're going on 10 minutes. That thing was already on like 18 minutes, all right? And so yeah, I definitely need to get my eyes checked, but let's see how today goes. Seriously, God, you know, like, I wish I knew some things ahead of time. You know, I live my entire life absolutely in bliss that I know nothing about anything at all, but then, like, there's these small bursts in my life where I'm just like, I would like to know that, you know, like, and they're very, you know, nuanced sort of things that I'm interested in knowing, you know? So it's sort of like, it takes me a minute to actually get around to seeing if that can be possible. And so, have a really good day, everybody. Seriously, I hope that you guys are able to, you know, sort of consume this Monday of content, because that's what I'll be doing today. Have a really good day. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.